A lot of questions in about President Trump's trial. And, let's go to Todd's in Georgia on line 4. Hey, Todd, welcome to Seculo. You're on the air.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. My question is, if there's a mistrial, would they try to retry President Trump in order to keep him off the campaign trail?
You're thinking like a hung jury situation, potentially? I'd have to go look at New York state law there. I have a feeling because of the 3 other cases that Letitia James is not going to want that to be done, or he's going to have to go to the back of the line. So that would recircle back. So you wouldn't see that for a very long time. If Donald Trump wins this, I cannot imagine these prosecutors putting the country through this again. They would be pretty embarrassed at that point. I think that Alvin Bragg would want to go run and hide because he has spent so much resources of New York City when it is going through a very tough time itself, the city of New York, and he spent so much time, so much of the nation's time on trial, that if there's the hung jury or again he's found not guilty, that people, and I think either one of those options is still very likely here. I don't think it's 100% that it's going to be found guilty, even though you would think that in New York. Yes. The charges are so weird and so convoluted, especially the charge to make it a felony, that I think it may be tough for people to say that deserves jail. That it was clear enough that it deserves Donald Trump going to jail, because then they have to think about themselves. And everybody in New York is a business person or works in a business, and they've got lawyers on this committee, you've got stock traders on this, financial people on this. I mean, again, can you sometimes retry? Yes, but this is not a mistrial situation. This would be a hung jury.
I think people are just trying to put together all
what could happen.
What could happen? What are the possible outcomes of this?
Most likely is this then moves on. We move on to a different case.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
And right now, Trump is certainly, according to his speeches he gave today, kind of prepping people for a guilty verdict. It definitely feels that way, because he's saying not even Mother Teresa could get out of these charges. So that is what he is certainly, that is what he and his team have said. Be prepared to get slapped with a guilty verdict. Yeah. Sure, this is New York. Sure, New York is crumbling right now, which according to Robert De Niro, if Trump becomes president, New York will be the worst. I don't know if he's
Joe Biden.
They haven't looked around to see what's going on. Let's go to Kevin, who's calling in Texas on line 3, watching on Rumble, which we appreciate. Rumble, the free speech platform. We always know we are safe on Rumble, so thank you to all the Rumblers out there who watch.
Definitely.
Kevin, you're on the air.
Good morning, guys. My question is, what if, like a West Virginia, and it's Republican now, DA decides to go after every single candidate that the Democrats put up, so the lawfare aspect of it. Kind of my question is, do you think this is going to motivate Trump supporters and also other people who believe in good and fair elections to get involved in the upcoming elections?
Well, I hope it does encourage people to get more involved in elections. What I don't hope it encourages is people to file lawsuits against people in other parties they don't like just because they see them as their political opponent. They should only file lawsuits if they feel like a crime has been committed. If you're talking about prosecutors, now you're talking about civil trial, that's different. That's it between individuals that have a dispute. But if you're talking about the state or the federal government or a municipality bringing charges against a politician, and usually those, again, criminal, because of their politics, to me, that is the worst place America could go. And I think that would be just as bad for Republicans to do. Now, does that mean that Republicans should ignore criminal wrongdoing by the left? No. If there's criminal wrongdoing, prosecute it.
Yeah.
But don't get caught. Don't look like Adam Schiff. Don't bring impeachments when the Chief Justice won't even show up. Don't do these show trials that people are mocking for 6 weeks on TV. You know what? I mean, I think the one thing Republicans kind of have over Democrats right now is that we haven't fallen. And even President Trump, he didn't prosecute Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. He said, actually, we won. Let's move on.
Yeah.
And now you have a situation where, sure, has Joe Biden done things that under the same situation, essentially, that they impeached President Trump over? Could you at least make a good argument for, sure, now we've lowered the bar impeachment to this?
Yeah.
Yeah, but so far they haven't done it. They've issued some articles. It's happened, but it hasn't gotten
close, but it's probably not moving there.
Hey, I did want to say we are only 75 champions away. Just got this from our producer. 75 champions away from hitting our monthly goal. So we've had a bunch come in. Thank you. If you want to become an ACLJ champion, do it right now. That is all a champion is a monthly supporter. We're able to meet the legal challenges ahead because of our ACLJ champions who support our work every month. Again, recurring donors give us a baseline to gauge the number of cases we can take, the amount of media we can provide. So please become a champion today. ACLJ.org/champions. Let's go to Kay, who's calling in Georgia. Listen on Sirius XM.
My question is, what's going to happen if he's convicted? You can't even vote. If you're a convicted felon, you can't vote in elections. How is he possibly going to run for president?
Well, first of all, that's in some states, not all states. So every state's different about that. Some states also allow you after a certain amount of time, you could petition to get those rights restored. So we can't make it generally that you're not allowed to vote. But in some states that is the case. If President Trump is convicted, though, his ability to vote, let's say that is impunged by this trial or some other trial, doesn't impede his ability to be president of the United States. And so, again, does it make it tougher? I think it makes it tougher politically for people to vote for you if they think that you are not going to be able to effectively do the job because you are a convicted criminal, even if they don't agree with your conviction. I think that's what the Biden team's hoping, is that you're going to get criminally convicted. You're a criminal. And if we get you one or two times on this, that even people who really like you, maybe not the people who show up at your rallies, but the Republican kind of voter who would at least vote for you, they're going to be worried that you're not going to be able to really govern and spend time focusing on the U.S. and the American people. And so maybe you're not the right person to be leading the country. I think it's their one political strategy behind this is try to take away votes that would be for Trump to say, you know what, I'd usually vote for, and I feel bad for the guy, too distracted to actually run the country. All
right, let's continue on. Let's go to Cassandra, who's calling. It's the ACLJ champion, which we appreciate. Cassandra, welcome.
Thank you, sir. I became a champion in honor of my grandson for his freedom for the future.
That's awesome.
Gentlemen, I'd like to know, is there a provision that the Founding Fathers provided in the underpinning of our nation that provides for an emergency situation or an emergency remedy by the Supreme Court to step into a situation like what's going on in New York, to take control over a judge that has clearly committed illegalities, has gone off the rails? Is there such a provision?
You can impeach judges.
Yeah, basically, how do you hold a judge accountable?
So states have their own. This is state court judge at Manhattan, district court judge. They have rules that they have to abide by. They can be impeached. They can be removed. The Supreme Court would look at whether your rights were violated constitutionally. So were your constitutional rights violated by this case? So there are multiple ways to look at this, Cassandra. You know what the problem is? None of those ways I'm describing to you are very quick. I mean, in America, we figure out quick is like 24 hours now. In our founding, like a 6-week trial like this trial, that wouldn't be considered so long to get all this information out and all the complications of getting people there. And a lot of criminal trials that are complicated go much longer than 6 weeks. So, but this one was weird because for lack of a violent crime or a more conspirators, because you only had one defendant here, that was pretty long. So there are ways to correct the wrongs, yes. But we have allowed our judicial system to be politicized either by letting politicians who are elected by party appoint the judges or have the judges run by party.
Let's go ahead and take another phone call. Let's go to Greg, who's asking a question. He's watching on YouTube, a question that a lot of people are asking. Maybe our last call we get to today. Greg, you're on the air.
Yes, hi. I'm an ACLJ supporter. And my question today is what if President Trump, they do convict President Trump, will they handcuff him and arrest him and put him in jail?
You know, I don't think so in this situation. So you could, in a violent crime situation, obviously, usually you'd already be in prison. So you would just be coming to court to hear the verdict. So you wouldn't have even made bail. You wouldn't have had bail offered to you if it was a murder case, those kind of situations, or bail that you couldn't even.
A lot of people are just asking that question. Is basically the
he's
verdict
been booked already?
Does the verdict get read? Does he get handcuffed and thrown in prison? There
could be some kind of processing.
Okay.
There could be some kind of processing. That does not mean he will be sentenced at that time. Yeah. That's separate.
Well, I want to encourage you all.
I don't think he will not be in jail between I'm pretty confident that he will not be in jail between when the verdict comes out, even if it's against him.
It's not a guaranteed jail time.
No, it's not.
Also, so there's also the chance that he gets
fully convicted of, if y'all found guilty of all these charges, and no jail time.